that came from Luxury, and Luxury did exploit, like I said, that entranceway into the natural expansion, so he did a good job exploiting that and getting that surround in. But overall, Leta didn't lose a lot in that battle. Even though you saw a lot of forces getting killed, he didn't lose any of his economy. He's now getting, I think, his second engineering bay up just for some more upgrades for his medic marines. And now, conversely, he's pushed out already. Now that he's got those tanks and medic marines, so pretty much he's taken the gas off the pedal when it comes to building raids. But now he's just switched back to basically the medic marine and tanks, and now he has a strong economy to support it. And because he had those starports up, he was able to now get a quick science vessel, like you mentioned earlier, which of course is always really important against Zerg. And I think that Luxury is going to be really far behind in getting this hive tech, and he's going to need that dark swarm and those defilers out as quick as he can in order to get in on those tanks, and he's just going to be really far behind in getting that hive tech. They haven't shown, at least I haven't seen them show, where he is in his hive, but I still think that Luxury is going to be in a really hard spot just because he's really behind economically where you'd really like to be against a Terran player at this point in the game.
Right, and just so you know, Leta did lose a lot of SCVs. I would say he probably lost 8 or 9 SCVs on that attack, but he had a really nice saturation, and I think he's already brought all those back and rebuilt the SCVs as well. Yeah, right there, it was basically the SCVs were getting splashed off of the bunker attack. As the SCVs were going to try to repair the bunker, they were just getting slaughtered. But I agree. I think that Luxury is in kind of a tough spot. The original harass, I think, probably has thrown him off quite a bit. And, of course, we do see the science vessels out. We see Irradiate doing what it does best, which is kill lurkers. And I didn't see if the hive tech was going up yet, although I think that you're right. I mean, Luxury has to get that hive tech up very soon because he is about to get contained here in a second. And which, of course, is what Terran just does so best. Terran does two things really well. They turtle up and defend well, or they keep you turtled up and having to defend well. And at this point, he is moving out with a lot of forces. He has a great mix of tanks and medic marines, which is just incredibly deadly. Now, granted, you know, Luxury knows what he's doing. He's doing all he can here, but he does only at this point have 3 mining bases to the Terran 2. And, I mean, I think maybe if Luxury were to have taken a 4th base, I don't know, 3 minutes ago, I think he could have a better chance. He is going to try for a huge surround here. Huge surround on these Marines. And no. Oh, okay, well, Leta lost quite a few Marines. Luxury doing a great job pushing out here without any Dark Swarm. If he had Dark Swarm, I'm sure this would have been 10 times as effective. But even without the Dark Swarm, he just has so many lurkers and so many units. We see the defense matrix on one of the tanks, which is a great idea by Leta. But Leta is going to lose all of these forces.
Wow, I gotta say, I'm really surprised how far Luxury made it with that attack. I mean, there were ranks and ranks of tanks there and tons of medic marines, and I think that he just Leta didn't pull his medic marines back fast enough. He didn't try to spread them out like he should have. They're all clumped up, and those lurkers just went in and just slaughtered him. However, the thing is, in the meantime, Leta's been getting this 3rd expansion up in the bottom left. You can see there at like the 8 o'clock position, and they haven't shown that. But Leta has been able to have that up. It looks like Luxury's going to spot it now. Now, Leta doesn't have a lot of SCVs there. He's busy with that attack and probably didn't build a lot of SCVs. But I still think that Leta's build has accomplished what it needed to. But like you said, Luxury is by no means out of this yet, showing what you can do with a great surround and a great attack. Looks like another attack coming in here. A lot of Hydras. Hydra heavy army. It's probably going to get slaughtered, though, because there's not enough lurkers supporting that. So those Hydras are going to have to back off. But like you said, Luxury is definitely not out of it yet, just because if he can show some great micro and build up a big enough army and get a good enough surrounds off, and now he does have that hive tech, and he's building another hatchery, so once he gets those defilers out, it could definitely be a different game. So I do think that Leta's had the advantage most of the game, but it is evening out a little bit for Luxury. Again, though, it's still the economy game, though. Leta is still far outmapping Luxury in the economy just because he's had those bases up and running longer, and Leta's just still able to push forward. He's catching some of these lurkers while they're morphing. See if Luxury tries to save these, and it looks like all those lurkers are pretty much going to go down, and they're just going to get slaughtered. A bunch of Zerglings running in, but those Zerglings aren't going to be able to do much against Medic and Marines. It'd be one thing if they're just Medics, but with that Medic-Marine combo, Luxury not going to have a lot of luck with that. And now Leta's trying to push its advantage and push on Luxury and pressure him. I think it'd be wise to go up to that 3rd expansion, or the 2nd expansion. Yes, that's what he's doing right now. He's going up to fend off that expansion, because if he can kill that expansion, that's pretty much going to be GG for Luxury. Luxury cannot keep up with the hive tech and produce enough units with just 2 bases. There's just no way, and even with 3 bases, it's hard enough. However, Leta might be spread himself a little too thin here, because now he's got a ton of medics, but not very many Marines, just because that long walk all the way from his base, he gets killed on his way there. One sunken fending off his base, but still, actually, Leta does have some Marines that did come down and reinforce, probably had him just rallied out there, and this base is going to go down for Luxury. I still think that Luxury is in huge trouble here, just because it's going to be 2 base versus 2 base. It looks like Luxury is trying to counter with some some Zerglings.
Ooh.
And in the meantime, Leta at the same time swinging on a dropship to take out, wow, a newly founded base by Luxury, which they hadn't even shown.
I am honestly, I think Luxury at this point is pretty much done. Leta has done such a great job. If you'll notice, one thing Luxury hasn't done at all this game, he hasn't sniped any of the science vessels. And what is the key to winning in a Zerg versus Terran matchup when it gets to the mid game like this? It is sniping science vessels. This is how Luxury defeated Ro8, and this is how he got to the round of 8 here, was by just excellent science vessel sniping. And I haven't seen one go down. And I think this is probably going to be the final attack. Look at this! Look at this! Matrixed Marines! 4 Matrixed Marines going in! This is awesome! You do not see that.
That's almost maybe bad matter. It looks like a couple of Zerg actually doing some damage there, but there's GG from Luxury. Almost bad matter, but Leta's just basically saying, look, it's over for you. The point is, Luxury was behind in the economy the whole game. Leta chose a build. The purpose of the build was not to kill Luxury off with the race or anything. The purpose of the build was to make it so that Luxury couldn't expand, so that Leta would have the air dominance to be able to expand at will, and that's what he did. He expanded at will. He was 2 base versus 2 base, and then he was 3 base versus 3 base. And if you're not out expanding the Terran, that's just not going to happen. And what you said about the Scourges, yeah, it's critical to have the Scourges take out science vessels, but when you've only got 3-4 bases as a Zerg base, you've only got 4 hatcheries, you don't have the spare larva to be building Scourge, because he's just trying to build as many lurkers and as many hydras as he can just to hold off, and he never even got those defilers out. So he really did not have a chance because he was just too far behind, in my opinion.
Right, and why was Leta able to matrix 5 Marines at the end? Because he had like 6 science vessels going in there, and I think that was a good. I mean, that was a good final driving the point home. Wow, thanks for leaving me alone this entire time and letting me build up all the energy I need and basically do whatever he wants. I think if Luxury had managed to get at least 1 defiler early, and in that 1 push in the middle had used the Dark Swarm, he would have probably left with like twice as many units as he did, and I think that could have been a huge turning point, and that would have given him some more leeway to possibly build up. But unfortunately, he didn't. We are going to go on to the next game here, and it should be exciting. Stick around.